"Ma'am, put the coffee pot down. We know who you are." The words cut through the sleepy hum of the diner like a knife, freezing every patron mid-bite. The waitress, Emily, stood trembling with the carafe in her hand, her wide eyes darting from the group of uniformed Navy SEALs at the door to the stunned customers at the counter. Her secret, carefully buried for years, was now cornered under the harsh fluorescent lights of a small-town diner. Before we move further into this story, let us know in the comments where you're watching from. We'd love to hear. Let's dive in. The regulars stared in disbelief. To them, Emily was just the sweet young woman who never forgot an order, always smiled, and worked double shifts to pay her rent. But to the men in tactical gear standing at the door, she was someone entirely different. And tonight, they had come to collect the truth. Emily's lips quivered, but she forced a nervous laugh. You must have the wrong person. I just work here." Yet the commander's cold gaze didn't waver. He stepped closer, boots thudding against the linoleum. "We tracked you across 3 states. You thought you could disappear, but your past doesn't stay buried forever." A heavy silence smothered the diner. Forks clinked against plates, and one man muttered, "What's going on?" But no one dared move. The SEALs spread out, forming a wall of authority. Emily's knuckles whitened around the coffee pot. She had always known this day might come, but she never imagined it would happen here. Her little diner, her fragile safe haven. For years, Emily had hidden under an assumed name, playing the role of a quiet, hard-working waitress. But years ago, she wasn't just Emily. She was once part of something darker, something dangerous, something that left scars no one could see. Her backstory unfolded like a storm cloud inside her. She had been raised in a broken home, her father absent, her mother battling demons of her own. At 19, desperate to escape poverty, Emily fell into the orbit of the wrong people, men who promised protection but demanded loyalty. She became a courier, carrying packages across borders she didn't dare ask about. Until one night, she overheard plans that chilled her to the bone, an attack that would take innocent lives. She couldn't let it happen. So she made a choice. She gathered evidence, turned everything over to federal agents, and vanished into witness protection. Her testimony dismantled a criminal empire, but it also painted a target on her back. She had been running ever since, hiding in plain sight, until tonight. The commander's voice snapped her back. "You saved lives once, but you also disappeared before we could bring you in. Do you realize what that means?" Emily's chest tightened. The room spun. Every eye was on her now, from the old trucker in the corner booth to the teenagers slouched over milkshakes. I was scared," she whispered. "Every time I thought it was safe, I'd see shadows in the crowd. I thought if I just worked, stayed quiet, no one would ever find me." The commander stepped closer, lowering his voice. "Emily, we're not here to punish you. We're here because the same men you betrayed, they've found you, and they'll be here before dawn." Gasps rippled through the diner. The soldiers' arrival was shocking enough, but this revelation sent fear crawling across every face. Emily staggered back, the coffee pot slipping from her grip and shattering against the floor. Tears welled in her eyes. "So it's over. My secret. It ends tonight." But in that moment of despair came something Emily hadn't expected: solidarity. The trucker slammed his fist on the table. "If those monsters come for her, they'll have to go through all of us." A young man at the counter stood tall. "She's one of ours. She's family." Emily's knees nearly buckled. She had spent so long believing she was alone, but this little town, the people she served pancakes and coffee to every morning, had become her protectors without her realizing it. The SEAL commander nodded, a flicker of respect crossing his stern face. "You gave up your old life to protect strangers. Now strangers are willing to protect you." His men exchanged glances, and in that diner something shifted. Emily was no longer a fugitive. She was a survivor who had earned her redemption. The night stretched on. The SEALs fortified the diner, preparing for what might come. Emily sat at a booth, her hands trembling around a chipped mug of coffee poured for her by one of the cooks. She whispered almost to herself, "I thought I was running from my past, but maybe I was running toward a family I didn't know I had." By dawn, no enemies appeared, only the rising sun spilling golden light through the blinds. The SEALs escorted her out, not as a prisoner, but as a witness to courage and sacrifice. Emily turned back one last time, her eyes locking with the townsfolk who had stood up for her. "Thank you," she said softly, "for seeing me, for believing me." And in that diner, silence turned into applause. It wasn't just for Emily's bravery, it was for the lesson they all carried now. That no secret, no past mistake, no shadow of shame could erase the light of someone willing to do what's right. Because sometimes the people we think are the most ordinary are the ones who carry the most extraordinary stories. If this story touched you, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let us know how you feel in the comments.